We got to talk about this Blake Lively situation. We have to talk about it. If you haven't heard of this yet, It Ends With Us. Okay, that was a movie that came out. It was doing very well, but she came forward, Blake Lively, against director and co-star and fellow producer Justin Baldoni. Now, what happened with this? Apparently, while they were on set, Justin was saying some crazy stuff to her. Now, there was a lot of like showing like pornography to her and showing naked images of all these different people, asking her about her porn life. Did she watch enough porn? Did she like watching? I hate to say that word online. I probably get demonetized right there. Did you watch any of this? I'm not sure you don't. So what happened is she put these allegations came forward. Now here's what she said that she was told. There were 20 things that came forward. She said that were happening on set. So the first one was this. Now apparently Justin came forward and said had lewd sexual comments and showed Blake Lively these nude images of other women, including his wife, which is weird. On top of that, too, he spoke to her about previously his porn addiction and asked her if she had a porn addiction and told her about his consumption. And then he also came forward and discussed with her and the employees on set about personal experience with his sex life, including how it relates to his spouses and others. He mentioned, on top of that, all the employees' personal times they got physical consent with other people in his life, and then he tried to get other people to actually have sexual acts with him. They added scenes during this that had them, during their filming, starting to make out with her more than she was supposed to be. On top of that, too, adding sexual scenes in the movie that weren't there and were not approved. There was no intimacy coordinator on set at this time. On top of that, too, they were talking about her dead father for some reason and trying to make sexual innuendos about the dead father on top of that, too. Called her trainer on top of that, was asking about her weight and how actual heavy she is to find out where she's at. Claimed to speak to Lively's. There's another thing, that dad thing. Ask her about religious beliefs and also about, again, tying into porn. On top of that, too, about her infant and if they were exposed to COVID and how she was not informed how their COVID situation went down. That's one thing. But I mean, this kept going and going and going. So now what happened on top of that, too, there's so many things that she didn't feel uncomfortable. She went to SAG about this. And she also filed a graphic complaint illustrated with text messages against the director and against Baldoni and the company itself, which is Wayfarer Studios, and also co-founder James Heath, and all of California's Civil Rights Department. She filed this whole case against. Now, it's not an official lawsuit right now, but she filed a complaint. She filed SAG. SAG came forward and said, this is right. This should never happen on set. This went down during the whole thing, so much so that when they had to shut down for a while, she had like a whole list of demands to start back up. And one was like, you can't show me pornographic images on your phone. You can't talk about my sex life. You can't ask me if I'm addicted to porn. You can't talk about my dead father. Like, I'm like, this stuff is insane to me. Like, how would this ever be a conversation on set? And on top of that, once she came forward, they started a whole smear campaign against her too. And SAG is behind her, saying that they're happy they're standing up. But the whole director and production came forward saying they're just they're just trying to bury their careers, and that's why she's saying this. To me, I'm like, I mean, Blake Lively, she works, but she's not there all the time. I can't. She's also married to Ronald. Like, why would you lie about this shit to me? I just don't see this being a lie thing. I think this is just like some people that just started out and they felt very comfortable and they said things on set. And we're in the world right now where you can't say these things on set. I mean, ever since Harvey Weinstein, I get we should feel comfortable sometimes. I'm all about that. I love being comfortable on set. To me personally, I think sometimes we hold back of making little jokes, but like there's no need to pry into someone's sexual life like this. There's no need to talk about like, how they feel about, any kind of personal situations behind closed doors. Anything you watch on your cell phones, you shouldn't be showing pictures of anybody else. You're on a professional set. You are at work. This should never come forward. And it sounds like a shit show that I think is going to lead to a lawsuit. Now, again, it's not officially a lawsuit yet, and the movie did really well. People love the movie. She came back and she finished shooting, but she felt harassed, sexually harassed, and she had to put this out there. Whew, it's a lot. It's a lot. Ron,
too much.
What's going to happen with this? It's too. Do you think this is too much, like GR said? And do you think that this will be something to be a precedent to stop these kind of things happening on set?
Well, I think it happens on set. I don't think it happens rampantly. Like, it doesn't happen all the time. Blake Lively is not liked. She is sort of the television Gwyneth Paltrow. Not liked. People just don't like her. So I really feel that something was almost masterminded, if you will. Somebody had something against her, and so they brought other stuff up because she's accused of things also from him. And it started literally like the day the press release came out for this movie. All of a sudden, all this bad press started. And then they even showed an interview of this unknown interviewer interviewing Blake for a movie several years back. And the first thing she said to Blake was, "Oh, congratulations on your baby bump." And Blake said to her, "And to you too." Now, she wasn't pregnant.
I did see that. You're right. She did do that.
And after that, everything snowballed as far as things against Blake from that movie and how difficult it was. But you do have a point because, I mean, she's married to Ryan. Obviously, her success is, or John,
Not his success.
Justin's
It shouldn't be
success,
tied in,
nowhere
but you
near,
hear the great things.
But this is interesting. I think that what's going to really bite her in the ass is the fact that she's just not liked. And I don't know why. I don't, she is just not liked.
Ron, I have heard that before
Does
too.
anybody have a clue
heard
why?
No,
I've heard
I don't.
that. I've heard she's been tough. She's been strict on people. She's treated people horribly. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
So
I've heard that.
she's a B word.
Well,
That's
yeah,
what I heard,
maybe.
yes.
But
Which is also interesting, though, because I've worked with Ryan, and I can't imagine him being attracted to something like that.
well, that's been a big conversation before. Even we talked about it multiple times. I know, like, because when Sabrina was on the show all the time, she loved Ryan Reynolds, and she's like, and she'd even say, like, why is he married to this? Why is she married to him? Why is he married to her? Because she's apparently the worst person in Hollywood. She worked with her too, and Sabrina said when she worked with him, she was mean.
Scarlett Johansson to her, it's just
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But do you think that is like, I mean, honestly, could this be, I mean, could it really be like someone just like, they know she's difficult on set and so they're trying to make her uncomfortable? Or do you think she's lying about it?
See, that's what's really weird, and I don't think she's lying about it. She might be exaggerating.
Yeah.
She might be a little bit too sensitive, which I have a hard time walking that line. I mean, because I understand it fully.
Well said, Ron.
But I don't think it's as simple as somebody wanted to make her uncomfortable on set. I think there's something bigger.
Well, there's also the fact that there's no lawsuit's been filed yet. You know what I mean? It's been more of a formal complaint and a lawsuit. And I think if you felt like it breached that, but there's also an intimacy coordinator, which is weird too, because that's where we're at this point. There's always intimacy coordinators.
They brought one in midway. They brought one in midway during production.
Okay, because they didn't have it initially, so maybe she called for it, and that's why it happened.
Yeah,
if they're adding scenes, look at Jonathan. Jonathan's itching at the bit right here. Yeah,
people hate Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Oh, she's like the stone cold princess. Just
really.
Yes.
Sensitive nipples.
I know, dude. You have sensitive nipples.
Jonathan, she
with
rhymes with this.
No, I get you.
Oh,
I get you.
boy.
It's just, I'm so out of touch with this.
Well, at least I was subtle, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Like all these stories you're talking about, it's like I had no idea this stuff was going on. I thought I was, in the know until I get on these shows with you. But
you're on the East Coast.
Is that it?
Welcome to Cruise Control, Jonathan. Welcome to Cruise Control.
Jonathan, you remember the ski lawsuit we won last year?
The ski lawsuit?
The skiing lawsuit?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then she countersued him for $1 and she won.
I didn't know about that part.
Yeah.
You're right, Ron. That was bullshit what happened there, too. That was total bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what has Ryan Reynolds said about all this? Did anybody talk to him?
Nothing.
He's never made any comments?
They keep their careers separate, too. So they don't. They really do.
Radio silence, which is interesting, too. Because it's like one of those things
well, it means they have a lot of fun in the bedroom.
Well, no, it also feels like, I would say this so too. There's something telling about this. So you would think it would be like, there's an old song, like, I mean, I'm gonna switch it. I'm gonna switch it though. It used to be like "Stand by Your Man," that song. think it'd be the opposite. You know what I mean? Like you think that if your wife is in a situation, you have this kind of clout with a lot of different big production companies to step forward and be like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? And he hasn't said really anything about this.
Nothing.
It's
Yeah.
really weird. But
That
he
is
married her. He loves her. Like, why, you know, does he know that she's difficult maybe? Is that a thing? These are, again,
You know, and she's been
Come
out of the
on, you can't
spotlight
be
for so
married
long.
to
too.
somebody and not know she's a bitch. Okay.
well, sometimes you don't say that part out loud, though. You just don't say it. You're like, you love them
Well, you
for their
don't,
good and their
but
bad,
you know
GR.
it, Brian. Come on.
You might, you know it. You know it. What do you say then, GR? What do you say in that situation?
I
Nothing.
love you, darling.
You say nothing. You say nothing.
Exactly.
Jonathan, you hear about all this again, like, you know, like Ron's saying this too, that maybe it's a thing where she is blowing this up. But at the end of the day, Jonathan, you don't know much about this world, these people you're saying right now. Do you think that this is a grander scheme problem that the union should have stepped in way earlier to deal with?
Well, if the union knew about it, yes. If she or somebody on set didn't report it, you know, they're union reps, not psychics. So if they knew about it, then the union should step in and do something. And that's the union's job, right? So
Yeah.
Blake should have let the union do what the union would do. I don't think I know enough about. I mean, sure, I read the articles that you sent, but I don't know enough about these people or enough about this story to give anything worthier than that. You know, like I don't really understand how anybody could do that in the first place repeatedly. And if somebody does something to you once or twice that you don't like and you say stop and they don't stop and you let it keep going, well, now you're part of that. Now
At the end of the day, though, no one should be showing porn. I mean, I
nobody,
said it again. No one's showing that, you know, adult,
nobody.
anybody on set, you know,
You
that
have
was
no idea what the
happening.
crew does, then, Brian. You have no idea what the crew does.
Oh, I know, Ron. Well, that's thing. Like, I've seen that stuff happen on set, you know. But I would say, like, if it's enough to egg, you feel people out. You know, I always say, read the room.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
read the
Know
room.
your audience.
That's
No,
Know your
I
audience.
like feeling
That's-
people out.
I
Well,
knew
GR,
that.
of course you do. Run a plus for GR feeling people out. I always say one thing, and I think here's the problem. Here's the problem that's happened since all this Me Too shit and all this. People just don't read the room. You know, sometimes you got to feel people out, and like Ron's saying, feel people out, read the room. You see what people are like. You understand things. You know where you can cross a joke and you can't. And then other times it's like people are very sensitive sometimes too. But I think that maybe they went to because initially how she's describing it was she was showing a cell phone for something, you know, and they laughed about it, and then they kind of tried to bring it in conversation. I mean, it's just hard, you know. It's just hard. You get celebrities sometimes don't want to be brought into that world, and sometimes they do.
Yeah.
The world has changed a lot. It just has. But I love the crew, Ron. I will tell you, I love the crew, and I feel like the crew's like saucy kind of. Sometimes it's gripping, and sometimes it's scandalous. I like that. I like
Yes.
it. But
Yes.
a lot of actors, some actors don't, and people are sometimes they have, you know, sensitive nipples like GR and Dave.
Right.
You know, That's what it is.
Hey.
you know.
I would wonder, is she the only one that they treated like that? Were there other people that aren't famous that were receiving the same kind of treatment, being shown the same material?
I haven't said
But
that yet.
you
You
know,
know?
I think there's much more to this story, and hopefully we'll learn about it.
This has been like ramping up for the past week because she just filed
Yeah.
this last week during the holiday season. So
Yeah.
it's very fresh. And I think there's gonna be a lot more news coming forward for it as we go into lawsuit territory, as we delve into where should it go? Did they cross the line or not? Like they shouldn't cross the line. Alfred said yes. I do think this is as Ron was saying, it's a bigger conversation. Like I used to love, like, I mean, Hollywood has changed a lot. When I first moved here, we could joke about some stuff that was ridiculous. You know, we used to joke about things all the time. And now it's like sometimes a joke goes too far. And you know, that's a conversation about who's comfortable about what. GR, do you think this could be a conversation that was a joke that went too far? Or do you think that this was maybe they were mad at her and they were just trying to make her feel uneasy?
Hard to tell, Brian. I mean, she sounds like, as I said, you know, she rhymed like this a lot. But then again, what kind of moron would be showing porn to somebody he's working with?
Especially an actor.
Right.
Especially an actor. That's a good point, Ron. Especially an
Ryan
actor.
Reynolds' wife.
Especially
Yeah,
Ryan Reynolds' wife.
right.
Oh my God. Who you
Why are you
probably
showing
just met.
Ryan Reynolds' wife porn? You know?
What?
I mean, okay, I get you're horny, but what the
Oh,
are
come
you
on.
thinking?
I didn't even think
They
about the
saw
Ryan Reynolds wife
Deadpool.
thing. Oh my God.
And they said about I got another limb when I watched Gossip Girl. You know what I mean? So maybe they watched that too, and they were having fun
I
with
mean,
that. I don't know.
the guy, in one word, the guy is a moron.
Oh yeah.
He obviously
Yeah.
doesn't want a career in this industry.
How did
because
he get where he got?
I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, this is his first
I
big
never
thing.
heard of him.
First big thing, and the
Well,
director
guess
too.
what?
It's like they're
And you won't after like
Brian,
next year.
how about
No, no.
this? It's his last big thing.
There you go. I
it's
mean,
last.
the judgment call there is so off. How did he even get that far?
His
I
what,
don't know.
Jonathan?
The judgment call there is just so off.
His what?
You're right, Queen. You're always taking
His
a joke.
what?
You're always taking a chance to make a joke. You're always making a chance. You know,
Judgment call?
Judgment call.
judgment call. Yeah.
His what?
Hey,
I
Brian,
don't get it.
Hey Brian, you'll love this. It was
Yeah.
a long time ago. It was like in the 90s before all this sensitivity stuff. And I was a lot younger. I was a kid. And I remember being on the lot and I saw the wardrobe, the girls in wardrobe moving a rack of clothes like they would always do. And I know them. And I literally yell from across the lot, "Nice rack!" Nobody get anything?
Couldn't do that today, Jonathan.
No.
Way.
No, you couldn't. You couldn't.
They
Ron,
didn't
you'd be
specify.
so
Alfred,
busted.
they didn't specify. I'm guessing whatever that guy liked. You know what I mean? I don't know. But that's also that can also be
or
a
that girl in tights.
well, it could be. It can also be something that you're trying to initiate some kind of activity too. You know what I mean? People can take it
You
that way as well.
think?
You're going to show them that they might think that, oh, you want to get me naked, and then he was coming to her dressing room too, showing her stuff. On
Yeah,
top of that, that's another part of it.
Inappropriate.
You know?
But I wonder, was she saying, hey, this is inappropriate, just stop? Or was she going, oh, that's crazy. Whoa, okay, well, if you find anything else, bring it over to me. Like, you never know.
She doesn't say that. No, she doesn't say anything what she said to them. That's the problem too, you know? Well, she said she didn't like it, but like, you know, who knows how far it went, you know? We'll have to see how it delves in deeper, which I'm very fascinated to hear more from the other side as well. They kept denying the allegations, deny. So we're going to have to see.
Queen was
Yeah.
asking, was it men as well or just female images?
GR?
I wonder.
I think
Makes
it's,
you
I think
go,
makes you go, Yep, makes you go, I think at the end of the day, as Ron said before, like these things, the jokes happen on set. They happen,
Good
but you have to
picture
judge your
about
audience.
the rack, Ron.
Oh boy, GR. I should have put that one up there, huh? Should have put that one up there.
Sorry, I was just following up on Ron's comments.
Words make you go, Ron, just because I'm going to go to Ron fast before we move on, because Ron worked in business for a long time. You've seen the changing of guards, how people have changed, how they think about things. Is this like maybe a new form of Hollywood not understanding like how we actually, because it's tough. I'm gonna tell you, it's tough sometimes these days. And sometimes where this humor comes from, what I say is this: it's like we're just trying to laugh so we're not like crying because we're spending most of our lives here. I think that's what it comes down to. And so we make these jokes sometimes just to like, because we see people upset and we're frustrated away from our friends and our family, our lives. Do you think that's what it is? Like, it's like the old school is still trying to crack those jokes and the new school just not understanding it? And how do you tell everybody moving forward how to have fun on set because of that loss of time?
You know, we've been doing sensitivity and sexual harassment meetings since the mid 90s. So my career had about 10 years without those things. So mid 90s, we've been doing that. And we literally would leave the training and we didn't know what to do with each other because the crews are very friendly. You spend all your time with them. You come in, you hug, you do all this stuff. You
Yeah.
know, you look nice today. You look so pretty. We would do all of that, and we'd get out of this thing, and we're just like, don't talk to me, you know, because the way it was forced on you. So none of that is acceptable. And so if Justin's even doing a fraction of what she's claiming he did, it's unacceptable in 2025. And him, especially being a new player, that should be all he knows. He shouldn't even know about old school.
So he should not be in that spot at all.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yep. I agree with you, Ron. And I think we're going to find out a lot more about this as we move forward. But again, this has been Blow Up the Internet. Blake Lively. And we're going to have to wait and see. Because honestly, everybody's interested in it.
Yo, player, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when we are live. And if you are able to join our Patreon, please join. Because the Pepestar needs more snickety snacks. Because I'm hungry. Holla back. Love y'all.